All right, guys, let's get down to it. Does this sound familiar to you? She argues with me relentlessly, and many times it's these silly cyclical arguments. We go round and round and round. She mocks me when I try to explain things to her, and that doesn't go very well. She micromanages me oftentimes when I'm making dinner, and I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know how to make food for my kids and my family. Does this sound familiar to you? Before I get started with this, I want to invite you to subscribe if this is your first time watching. If this is one of many videos that you've seen of me, welcome back. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. All my content will be available to you at that point. Let's get started. All right, she argues with you, sometimes in front of the kids. She mocks you when you're trying to get her to listen, but she doesn't. She micromanages you when you're making dinner. So, where do you go with all this? What do you do? You're in a real rut in your relationship. What does that look like to you? Does it look like the bitter end? Does it look like you're draining yourself? You're staying up. Sometimes into the wee hours in the morning, you're 2 o'clock, you're watching the clock, 3 o'clock. You got to get to work in the next morning, and then you're dragging your butt when you wake up. Sometimes you've gone through a few cups of coffee. Are you done with that? Are you done with this yet? So one of the things that I've realized in my relationship is that this is my issue. I was the one who didn't set the boundaries. I was the one that didn't speak up for myself. And I didn't have the ability to lead like I do now in my relationship. And that meant drawing boundaries and indicating where they were. What does that all look like, Jesse? It looks like this. When you are in an argument, do you fight fairly? Or is it all over the map? Do you bring in previous arguments as ammo in the conversation? Does she do it? Do you listen? Does she listen? Do you threaten to break up? Does she? Do you really have a solution in mind? Or is it just like over and over? If that sounds like you, I want you to go to number 16, video number 16, fair fighting, and I want you to watch that. I lay it all out for you, and I show you exactly what you need to do. What you get to do in that relationship is, at that point, after you've watched that video, is figure out how to fight fairly. And what that does is it creates a safe container for you. Now, I'm not going to go all through that. What I want to establish with you is the 3 points that I have talked to you about already. She argues, she mocks you, doesn't listen, and micromanages you and is overbearing. How do you deal with it? Do you spin out of control, lose your patience, or do you stay with it? Do you go toe to toe? Oh man, it's time. It's time to end this, isn't it? Because you don't know how much longer you can go with this, and your threshold to withhold this, to keep up with this, you're at your max. But you don't know what to do because you're just losing time with your kids because you're having to create time for yourself to figure out exactly what's going on. And you don't feel totally present in your relationship as well as, my pen just dropped, with the kids. That's an issue. You're missing part of your life. The issue is you and your inability to lead. When I couldn't do that in my relationship, it was going sideways. And there are some points within my relationship where I have to go back to that. And I did just recently too, where I had to go back and reestablish my boundaries. I had to go back and remember the points in fair fighting and what that was. I had to take my own advice because things weren't so glamorous a few weeks ago. And my wife and I were back to the petty arguments. And that zaps you emotionally, doesn't it? And you're not your best person. And it certainly doesn't make it really comfortable in the relationship, does it? But here you are. You're watching my video and you're trying to figure out how all this works. So here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do. You have to have boundaries. You have to have a clear-cut idea on what a safe container looks like. So that's the time that you dedicate to listening and to telling your truths. And then she's going to do it too. After you've done that, after you've figured out how to do that, you're going to give me a call. You're going to contact me. We're going to do a 30-minute discovery call and figure out how that goes, because every relationship is different. And what this is the relationship with yourself that you are longing to have and don't have. And it's the relationship that your wife is longing to have with you, but is projecting her anger onto you because she doesn't want to lead it anymore. She doesn't want to lead the relationship, and she doesn't have to. You should be doing that. That's you. You've got to show up now, my man. Things get better when you figure this out. So the mindset that you have right now is not going to be the same mindset that is going to get you out of this. Sure, it might get better after a couple of months or a couple of days, and you'll say, gee, Jesse, I don't really need your help. I bet you do. Because 2 months from now, you're going to be doing the same thing, and you're going to be going, oh man, I wish I listened to what Jesse said, because it might have helped. You're going to give me a call. You're going to contact me. Info at the Valiant Lifestyle. Info at thevaliantlifestyle.com. And we're going to figure this out. You and I together. I've gone through it. Who better equipped to help you through this than somebody who's got the experience and know how to do that? That's right. It's going to take a better and clearer mindset. It's going to take an even bigger mindset, an improved mindset to figure out what this means. Okay? All right. So I'm not going to go on too much longer with this, because you get the point. You are the issue and you're not leading. And you need help with this because you're done. It could cost you the rest of the relationship and a lot of money, but you're not there yet. Here's what you're going to do. Again, you're going to contact me. Info at thevaliantlifestyle.com. And we're going to do 30 minutes, you and I. And we're going to talk about how we can improve and better your situation. Do something for yourself, man. Be valiant. Let's do this.